Hi there, everyone. So, welcome to this week's energy read. We're going to do our general pick a card energy read so that you will select one of three cards that you feel intuitively aligns with your energy this week, and we will see how that goes. Today is actually Tuesday, July 2nd, and there's actually a solar eclipse today. If you are in North America, or actually if you are anywhere other than South America, you may not have heard that much about it because it was only visible in Chile and Argentina. But even though it was only visible in Chile and Argentina, it can still have an impact on everyone in the world. So solar eclipses sometimes change the energy, as we know, often happens with full moons and new moons. Eclipses, specifically romantic-wise, can sometimes cause reunions or breakups. And that energy is very consistent with starting on the 7th, July 7th, we are going into Mercury Retrograde. So right now we are in the shadow period, pre-shadow. So you may already feel some of the effects of that. Usually Mercury retrogrades impact communication. Now sometimes that shows up in the way of like your electronics. Things go a little bit more wacky than usual. It also affects interpersonal communication. Oftentimes retrogrades help people to resolve some issues from the past. So sometimes you see people returning from the past during a retrograde. Sometimes you see things dissolving during a retrograde. I will post, I posted an article about the solar eclipse. I will post an article about Mercury retrograde, this specific one, on the Facebook page because it's interesting. We've got the solar eclipse leading right into, when the solar eclipse is in Cancer, the sign of Cancer, leading right into the retrograde, and then Chiron actually goes retrograde too. So I'll post that article, be sure to look for it. So as far as this week, we'll choose three cards for the potential energy for this week. And you're going to choose the card that aligns most to you. So card 1, card 2, card 3. And ideally, you want to select the card before I actually reveal it, because then in that case, you may be biased. So, intuitively going with your gut, card 1, card 2, or card 3, which one do you feel like aligns with you this week? So card 1, we've got the 3 of Swords. So you can tell looking at that card, and I think that card has shown up fairly recently in an energy read. I know it's been showing up in a lot of the personal tarot readings that I've been doing for some reason. But this card is about, heartache and grief. So unfortunately, if you felt like your energy aligned with this card, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but this week you may be experiencing a little bit of heartache. going back to the eclipses and the Mercury retrogrades, sometimes these times shake apart some relationships that inevitably just aren't meant to be on a long-term path. Now, the good news is that this is not a long-term thing. This is, you experienced some heartbreak or some disappointment. You need a little time to focus on yourself in order to heal, but the pain will pass. Now, romantically, it doesn't always mean a breakup. It often does, but it doesn't always. But sometimes that's some, sort of obstacle or stumbling block that comes up. If you're thinking about entering into a new relationship, now may not be the time to do that. Not all the time, but sometimes relationships that start in retrogrades don't have that foundation that you need. And then with the energy of this card coming up, sometimes it's a message not to commit too deeply. If you're looking at this card and you're thinking about your career, it also is an indication to maybe not make a big investment now. So if you have a job offer, and of course this is an absolute, but you may want to consider trying to defer the job offer a little, or really analyzing that job offer for the pros and the cons. Because when this card comes up, it sometimes indicates that it will cause you some grief, some disappointment, some heartache in the long run. So maybe it is time, it's better not to invest. Card 2, we have the 8 of Pentacles there. So you can see that that fellow is really working hard on his craft, on his pentacles. And you have to look carefully, but way off in the background, you see a castle. So the castle is always positive in a tarot reading. So this overall is a positive energy card, especially if your concern, listening to this energy read for the week had to do with finances, because this is a very positive financial card. He is working hard on his finances, and he's surrounded by pentacles, and he has a castle, again, a positive sign, in the background. Overall, with regards to career, again, it's a positive card. It indicates that you are working, or you will be working in a job that uses these skills that you've learned over the years, sort of a culmination of your talents that you're able to put together. If you're thinking about a romantic relationship, that sometimes this card comes up that that is related, because it is Pentacles, dealing with finances, that maybe you need to focus a little bit more on getting your financial house settled before you make any big relationship moves. If, for instance, you're thinking of expanding your family, buying a new residence, making any, sort of large investment, you want to make sure that you consider the impact that that could have on your relationship. The last card has to do with the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man, sometimes people look at the Hanged Man and they think of the Hanged Man as maybe some sort of stuck energy, because he is here, tethered to this tree. So he's not moving, he's not going anywhere. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be stuck long term. What it means is that now is really the time for you to be still and basically go within to look for insight, because you will download the information that you're seeking. So if you chose this card for the week, it may be that you're seeking, some answers to something, and this is the universe's way of telling you that they're going to come, but that you can't be either mentally or physically here, there, and everywhere. That you have to be still for that divine inspiration. You can see the glow around his head to come to you. So if you're thinking about this in regards to a relationship, you're not sure if you should make a bigger commitment, you're not sure if you should leave the relationship, today is not the day to do it. You need to basically take a little bit of time and determine whether or not is it this retro energy that's just sort of messing with you and putting doubt into your head, or are these legitimate issues that should be further considered. If you're not sure, hang up for a little while. With regards to business, same thing. You don't want to leave, don't quit your job today unless you really thought it over for a while. Don't suddenly accept a position that, is offered to you that you haven't thought through. Now is not the time for any sudden career moves. Now, it's not saying that the option that you're considering is necessarily a negative option. It's saying that you need more information. You need to hang out and wait for that divine download before you progress further, so that you have all the information that you need. So that's basically the energy read for this week. I hope it was helpful. Of course, it's general. If you're looking for something specific, I do link to my Etsy page where I do a whole variety of different readings for people. Feel free to get a personalized reading that suits you if that's something that you're interested in. I hope everybody has a good week here in North America and, in the United States anyway. We celebrate the 4th of July this week. So to those of you who are celebrating, I hope that you have a safe and enjoyable holiday. And everyone else, same to you, even if you don't celebrate the 4th. Take care.